and welcome to another AYS Podcast. This is episode 8 of the AYS Podcast series. Today we're going to be talking about partnership systems, specifically on Discord, and how they work, what they are, how the requirements for running one. An example, we'll talk about AYS is how we run our partnership system. We'll talk about the impacts, so positive and negative impacts, and the reasons why you might want to and might not want to run a partnership system, as well as how to decide if it's right for you. So without further ado, let's get started. So before I begin, I want to discuss some of the recent updates we've had at AYS, which I thought would be a good thing since there's been quite a few things since we had the last podcast episode. Firstly, we have our new Liam bump bot, which was redeveloped. So it's had a lot of issues over the past few months, or ever since we created it. So we got it professionally done this time, and it works like a charm. It's in our Discord server. We also have a new website for it. You can visit liam.aos.gg and you'll find all the information about it. It works this time. It's pretty awesome, and it can help you gain some members for your awesome server. Next up, we have our small servers program. As you may know, we run a program called Small Servers, which is aimed at helping community owners get their server to 100 members. We're expanding that. I won't tell you too much about it, but that's under the works. Our website is down right now, so if you have any questions, send a DM to AYS support, and we'll be happy to assist while the website's down. In other news, we're also doing a bit of rebranding over at AYS, so we've moved. Our main domain is now ays.gg instead of ays.network. Sites on ays.network will redirect for now, but just keep an eye out, as emails are also being moved, which helps to make it easy for people to find us, as well as improve our presence on the internet. On our Discord server, we've also removed our member role, so you'll no longer have the colour of the member role. This is to help keep spammers out, to keep everyone in AYS safe, and to keep it a happy environment. We've also added some new emotes, so we've had some new Wobbles emotes made to add to our existing collection, which you'll find in our updates channel. You'll be able to see all those new Wobbles emotes, which you can use in AYS, and you can also use in other servers if you have Nitro. Finally, we have updated our help center, so if you visit help.aos.gg, that's our help center. It includes a whole lot of articles on how to do different things around the AOS network. So there's stuff for Discord expert, AYB listing, our Discord server general stuff, how to apply for stuff, moderation appeals. There's AYR stuff in there, and everything you could really need in order to be able to use AYS. There's also some video tours where how to use our bots like Liam, but we have whole docs for that over on our Liam site. So without further ado, let's actually start talking about partnerships. So at partnership at its bare bones, there are essentially two servers working together to share each other's ad. There are many variations of partnership systems on Discord. You'll see, massive servers will have different systems to what a lot of smaller servers will have. So for example, some servers will generally have only 4 or 5 partners, and they're what we would call static partners. They just stay there, and basically both servers work together like that, and they just keep their ads like that. They don't go adding more partners and stuff. They're more just they more focus on quality partnerships. Other servers will tend to focus on get as many partners as possible. Now that's what we do at AYS personally, because for us, since we work with servers and help grow them, we feel it's best instead of having this whole lot of static partnerships, because partnerships are more about having the other servers grow rather than us. That's why we have, you can partner when you have 100 members. If we wanted to make it worthwhile for us, we'd be saying, at least 10,000 members. But we don't, because we want to help servers grow. So partnership requirements will come in all forms and sizes. And that's essentially what a partnership is. It's two servers working together to help each other grow. And working together, they can run events and things like that. But we'll talk about that more later when we come to the impacts and the positives and negatives of running a partnership program on your server. Now, to run a partnership program on your server, there's a few bare essentials you need. Firstly, you generally just have a role that you give your partners, which can be hoisted if you want. And this is basically to show them off as they're partners of your server. And you can sometimes, if you might want to give them access to a channel or a voice chat or something like that, if you want to have a space for them to talk in. Another thing you may want to consider, or you'll need, is a channel. So this is where you'll post your partnerships. So whenever someone comes to partner with you, you'll post their ad, and it will go in that channel. Now, generally, you want it to be up high somewhere, to make it worthwhile for both parties involved in the partnership. And you don't want normal members to be posting it. Generally, you can just call it partnership or something like that. If you have a bigger partnership program, you'll generally have a category for it where we have the requirements. You might have your ad and different partnership channels depending if you have a leveling system like we do. So we have the 100 members, the 1,000, 10,000, and so on to spread them out. So the bigger servers benefit as well. And also to run a partnership program, if you're just running a small one, you only need yourself, but sometimes you'll need a team to help you out as well. If you're getting lots of partners, you need a lot of people. There's plenty of people in AYS you can find to help out. If you go looking in our seeking staff, you can look for people in those channels. And you can also post looking for people who want to help you out with partnerships. There's also people who offer paid partnership services, so have a look at those. So let's discuss the positives and negatives of running a partnership program. So a couple of weeks ago, I made a blog post about partnership programs and the positives and negatives of it. So I think I'll go into detail about those. So the first good thing about running a partnership program is it lets you meet new people. So by working with new people, you're able to build your network up. So this is just like in how sites like LinkedIn work. You work to build your network up, and hopefully one day, that network will come in helpful when trying to maybe get a job, or get in the big leagues when it comes to online communities. So, and you can also make new friends. Partnershipping allows you to meet new people and work with them to grow your server. You're also able to meet like-minded community owners, so you can share tips with each other. You can host events together, host giveaways. Essentially, just share your service with each other. You can, share your experiences. Ask advice of each other. Maybe one owner's tried something another owner hasn't, and they'll compare to see how that's helped them. The main benefit of running partnership programs is that you're able to work and gain new members. So that's the main reason people run a partnership program. It's very, very effective if you have the right kind of server to grow your own server. As people in the other server, if it's a similar type of community, they'll see your server and be like, hey, that looks interesting, I'll go join that. If you have a really appealing ad as well, it can be very, very effective. And you can gain a lot of people with it as well as the other server will as well. So that's a win-win for both parties. So as I said before, you're able to work with other communities, so you can host events together, you can run giveaways. Some servers will even end up creating a network out of it where you share members with each other and you basically grow together. And in some certain servers, you can also gain some cool perks depending on the server you're in. So sometimes servers will give you a cool role. The channel, they might give you, they might have a premium bot. They'll give you premium on the bot. They might give you premium role. It really just depends on that server. So at AYS, we give you a role, which gives you access to our partners only category. And we host some pretty cool things in there. People will chat. You can ask advice of other community owners that partner with us. So yeah, that's a cool thing. Now, while there are positives to running a partnership program, there are also negatives. So partnership programs are very intense programs to run. So they take a lot of time and resources. So generally, this is why you'll need a team. At AYS, we have a massive partnership team because our partnership system, it runs across AYS, AYB. We're looking into AYG, and not AYR because you can't really run partnerships that well on Reddit. So we have a pretty big partnership team because we have so many people wanting to partner with us. We have such low requirements because we want to help people grow that we just have to have such a massive team, which we have some awesome people running, to help partner up communities and help them to grow. So it does take a lot of time, and if you're an individual, you're not going to, generally to do like one partnership can take a few minutes. And if you've got a whole lot coming through, it's very intensive as well. There's also back and forth with the person you're partnering with. Another issue you're going to have is spam. So if you have a partnership system where you're consistently bashing out partners, like we do at AYS, it can create a lot of spam, so you've got to be careful of that. You don't want to overload your members if you're a smaller server with just advertisements, because otherwise then it's just going to look like you're just letting the members go and you're just spamming advertisements at them, like kind of like sponsorships, but not paid. So you got to be careful of not spamming the channel out of hell, because the thing is, then if you spam it, then no one's going to ever join any of the servers, because then they're going to be able to see them, because there's just new servers every day that just going to keep coming through, and people will eventually just mute the channel. So you got to be careful of that. Another issue is the imbalance as well. So if you have a lot of, I'll give you a war story of that. Back a couple of years ago, I think it was. I was in this one server, had about, I don't know, 800 members, and I think it was about 3/4 of the server was partners. So they had bashed out partners, and about 3/4 of the members had the partner role, and that's really inequitable, because if literally all your members are partners, then they're not going to be active in your server, and literally just there to gain members to their own server. So there's no point in having 3/4 of your server members as partners, because then it looks really bad from a perspective, as a member's perspective as well, because then everyone's just a partner. They're not interested. They're not real community members per se. This also goes to my next point. You're going to get members who aren't interested. So members might join because they see a server post the ad, and they might not really understand what it's about. So they might join, look around, and end up just leaving. So that's why it's really important that you also make your ad as descriptive as possible as can be. So in order to make sure that members know what your server's about and they're going to be interested in joining. When they join, make sure you welcome them. You're going to make them feel a part of the community. Otherwise, they're not going to be interested, and they'll end up leaving. People take 10 seconds to look at a server before they decide if they're going to stay or leave. It's generally a bit longer, because Discord servers are a bit more interactive than websites themselves. So you got to be interested, and you got to keep people interested in your server. So those are pretty much the positive and negatives of running a partnership program. So now it's up to decide if it's right for you. So generally, a partnership system is good if you have the time and you want to gain more members. A partnership system is good. One issue you got to take into account is your channels. So you don't want to have too many channels in your server. If you make partnership channels, that's adding another channel, and it makes your server more confusing for new members. It can make channels harder to find. So you got to be careful. If you have like 5 partnership channels at the top, that's going to limit the amount of people who can see your chat channel, for example. That will decrease the amount of people in there. People don't often scroll down Discord servers. You've got to prompt them quite heavily to do that. So if you have a partnership channel, it takes up more, as we call, channel real estate, which in bigger servers is very, very expensive. So if you have a server and you want to make a partnership channel, I'd say go for it. They're a really effective way to grow your server if you've got it. Get an ad review from AYS, and we'll give you some tips on how to improve and how to get people interested. Also feel free to ask for partnership advice. So if you have any specific questions about partnerships, we're always happy to help. So overall, a partnership system is good if you want to gain more members, but you just got to be careful. You don't want to go overboard with your partnership system. Otherwise, things can get pretty out of hand, and spam can happen, and you can get a backlog in people who want to partner. And as well, you should always update your partner requirements when you get bigger. If you want to keep static partners, as they say, you just want to partner with people around the same size. You got to keep upgrading that. Otherwise, if you get to 1,000 members and you're still partnering with 100 people, then you're not necessarily going to be gaining from that. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. I'll be back in a couple of weeks' time. Let me know if you have any podcast requests for videos and stuff. And until then, enjoy the rest of your week, and good luck with your communities.